Introducing your comebacks. First, fighting out of the blue corner, please welcome Wetzel.
Yeah, we got Wetzel coming in, age 25. He's fighting out of Goliath Fight Team. He's a wrestling coach, so I have a feeling his younger athletes are going to be watching him.
Please welcome the Gorilla Brashear. Introducing your comebacks. First, fighting out of the blue corner, this freestyle fighter stands 6 feet tall and weighed in at 270 pounds. Tonight, he seeks his first MMA victory inside of the cage. He hails from the rubber city of Akron, Ohio, and represents the Goliath Fight Team. Please welcome his opponent across the cage to line up. This freestyle fighter stands 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighed in at 325 pounds. He is undefeated inside the cage with a record of 1-0. He hails from the rock and roll capital of the world, Cleveland, Ohio, and represents Clemens and Flowers. Please welcome Nick
Okay, we're here for the big boys. They're moments away. They're locking up the cage, and we got Wetzel versus Nick Brashear. There we go. They do touch gloves, and Nick is definitely cutting the distance, throwing some heavy leather.
These are big guys.
These are big. I feel this cage rumbling on our table, and I'm so glad at this point I'm retired.
I'm so glad I never decided to fight because these guys scare me.
Nick, stick to the game plan, Nick.
Now, Clay, being a wrestling coach, I would think he would want to have Nick on the cage, but you know what? It being 6'4", over 300 pounds, it's a lot easier said than done. And we drug him down. Now you got 6'4", 300 pounds on top of you, and it's gonna take your energy out. It is. Nick's controlling the cage, like I said, using the cage as a weapon, smothering him here, and you know what? Clay's, all of his mobility going to the left is taken away by the cage. And I mentioned that so many people don't use the cage as a weapon, but you know, you just took his whole left side of his body and his mobility out of the equation.
Now, when you say, to the casual fan watching here, what is a fighter allowed to do with the cage, and what is a fighter not allowed to do with the cage?
Well, you're not allowed to use it for gripping. And you know what? As a savvy veteran, I've snuck my fingers through the cage a few times and used it to catch my wind. In theory, you're really not supposed to. But you can really get a jiu-jitsu guy out of his element when you take him up there and you can sort of get his neck cocked and get him sort of caught up against the cage. It takes their game plan a lot. When you take away the mobility of a jiu-jitsu guy, you definitely are using the fence to your advantage.
Now, right now, Wetzel's got both his feet on the cage. Is he doing this to try to push his opponent off or to gain a little bit of mobility?
You know what? Now that you just said that, he did. And he did one quick explosion, he did a quick bridge, and as you can see, he just got into half guard, which is a lot better position than as he was in side mount position. In side mount, Nick could throw knees, and if you look there how he's controlling Nick's right leg, he can no longer throw that knee. And like you said earlier in the day, you have to show something here. Although Clay's not taking big damage right now, he has to fight back. At the amateur level, it's definitely there to protect the athlete.
You know, you got Frank Garrick, the referee tonight. This guy's been in Japan doing fights. He's seen almost everything there is to see in martial arts, and he's also a student of the game. So he's not going to let this go too far if it gets ridiculous.
And you know what? As a submission here.
Round number 2 of this scheduled 3-round super heavyweight contest.
Nick is a big, strong guy. Clay is really trying to use his wrestling and control positioning. When you're 6'4", 300 pounds, like I said earlier, it's a lot easier said than done.
Again! Yes! Again, Nick! Keep control of him, man.
A lot of times in the super heavyweight division, you see him doing a lot more stand-up fighting than ground and pound.
We've lost a mouthpiece here. It looks like Clay did get hit. He's got a little blood coming from his nose, and now he's breathing out of his mouth.
Do you think these mouthpieces coming out are results of legitimate hits, or it's a fighter's way of being a little crafty to catch their wind?
That's a great question. You know what? You can tell when it comes out for real. Oftentimes the guy's usually asleep to follow it. When it comes out for fake, hey, that's you know, in wrestling in the old days, I would definitely make sure I didn't tie my shoes tight. And ref, my shoe's untied. I better tie it. And I take a good 30 seconds tying that shoe to you know, to get my energy back. You know what? These guys are 25, 29. They're no spring chickens, and you can see their you know, wisdom of being an older, wiser fighter.
We got a crowd following here for Nick Brashear. You get the crowd behind us chanting Nick, Nick, Nick. You know, these guys, I don't care what you look like, I don't care who you are, I don't care what your walk of life is. You have to have the respect of the fans just for simply walking into this cage. It takes a lot of guts. There's a lot of guys that can't do it.
Right. And I mentioned earlier, Nick was an ex-pro wrestler. And, you know, I think he decided, hey, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, get out of the fake stuff, and, you know, we got an undefeated you know, MMA fighter, and you know, I think a lot of them, although I do see him slowing down a little bit, as I see both fighters slowing down. This is coming down to looks like maybe the 3rd round again, and I definitely know that those knees to the belly that Nick's throwing on Clay are adding up dividends. It's you know, taking it in the belly is not a fun night.
Not a fun night. You know, and even that pro wrestling, I mean, as fake as it might be, you still got to be in shape. You still got to know what the heck you're doing. You know, and you're going to catch punches even doing that. So that might help him even in mixed martial arts. Just the discipline that it takes to learn a craft.
Hey, learn a craft, and you know what? They're athletes. What they do, and you know, the entertainment factor and the athleticism alone, I admire those people.
And this is your 3rd and final round of this super heavyweight division contest.
They are stressing the fact that you got to go one more round. This fight's not over yet. You can't just lollygag through the 3rd round, especially Nick Brashear.
Especially the 265-pound and over division. You got 300 pounds of force coming behind a punch. You blink, it could be over. You know, we're 3 minutes away from a decision. But and I don't know how you see it, but I do see Nick having dominated the first 2 rounds.
I see it a close 2-0. You know, they've both done things to score points, but I think all around and the whole encompassment of what a judge looks for in a fight, Nick's got this going 2-0, but he can't get too comfortable because, again, you don't know which way the judges are seeing it, yet you can't get too cocky because, like you said, he can get caught with one punch like that, the fight's over.
And it seems like Clay right now is gaining a little more energy. Looks like Nick is just trying to buy time here to get this fight over with. And Clay might have found his second win here. He definitely can't stay here on the fence. If you're really going to push the pace and try to win this round, he's got to get his butt off the cage and quit eating knees to the belly, which he did a great job there of circling out. I think he needs to break. He needs to break away from him, which he just did. He's either got to take him down or he's got to land a big one.
You know, and Brashear's doing the smart thing, tying him up, making him exude his energy to break that. And those knee shots, although not too powerful, take it out of you 3, 4, 5 in a row.
Right.
And it's also stalling time.
He's staying active. He's keeping the referee from breaking him up. And as long as that clock keeps ticking, he's getting closer to a victory. I didn't like how he's hanging his head there, right on his chest. You being a former boxer, that's you're begging for an uppercut, and that's a devastating punch. He got smarter here. He's got his head here higher protected, and he's keeping the pressure on.
Brashear's he's gassed. Yes. He wouldn't be laying his head on the guy. Those 3 seconds, and now all of a sudden, they're going to start boxing right now.
It's getting interesting.
And Wetzel had landed 2 very, very clean shots.
Getting interesting. There's got to be short time at this point, and he's getting rocked. And like we mentioned earlier, at the amateur level, referees stopped the fight a lot earlier.
Frank Garrett's not going to let this go too long. These clean shots are done. Brashear just left his head up and took a breath out of his mouth. He's exhausted.
And you know what? I've never heard the crowd so animated. These guys are throwing some bombs. This is a good old slobber knocker here. 10 seconds left in the fight. I think Nick just ran him up here. I see it 2 rounds to 1. How do you see it?
I see 2 rounds to 1, but I would not be surprised if we see a split decision.
All right, we'll find out here in a second. Great fight. Hell of a fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for a slobber knocker in the super heavyweight division. The final bell has rung in your judges. They have spoken. Judges Sheila Mason and Herman Horn score the contest 30-27. Judge Kevin Armstrong scores the contest 29-28. All for your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated inside the cage, with a new Brashear.